What up, YouTube? It's your boy Big Cool coming to you from Colossal Boxing Talk, and I'm back today with another video. In today's video, I will be discussing Lucas the Machine Matthyssee, who returned this past weekend on the undercard of Canelo Alvarez and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. It was good to see Matthyssee return. This was his first time in the ring in over 19 months. We last seen him against Victor Postol getting stopped in the 9th round in October of 2015 in a shocking loss. A fight that where he quit due to a broken orbital bone that kind of left a bad taste in the mouth of fans of his and just boxing fans in general. But Matthyssee made his welterweight debut against Emmanuel Transformer Taylor, knocking him out in the 5th round. Matthyssee definitely carried up his power. I tell you that. That's the question with a lot of monstrous punchers when they move up in weight is, will they be able to carry that power up? And if so, you know, how much will they carry up? It seemed like he carried up a lot of that power, pretty much all of it. Once he started landing big shots on Taylor, you can see it visibly shook up Taylor, who tried to fight back, but he didn't fight the smart, smart fight, excuse me. He went back to the ropes with that high guard that he's known for, which leaves himself open for body shots, which Matthyssee does throw, and does throw viciously. Matthyssee is also a very accurate puncher, especially with his right hand. When he throws it, he is powerful, and throws it with so much force that it can penetrate a high guard like Emmanuel Taylor. And you know, it was a good performance by Matthyssee. He didn't waste no time. Once he got past the first round, he was really heated up right at that moment, and he just kind of let his hands go. It was a seek and destroy type fight for him, and he dropped Taylor, I think, in the 2nd round with a left hook or right hand. I forget which one, but it put him down. Taylor got up, and then it was all she wrote in the 5th round when Taylor retreated to the ropes, and Matthyssee just started ripping him, landing some shots, hit him with a right hand. It was over. Referee waved off the fight. Now, does this mean that Lucas Matthyssee is a player at 147? In my opinion, it does not. You got to look at the landscape at 147 with guys like Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, Kell Brook, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Manny Pacquiao, Tim Bradley, just to name a few. Those 7 guys that I would favor to beat Lucas Matthyssee if, you know, those fights were signed, sealed, and delivered. Now, out of those 7 guys, 2 guys I would like to see him fight would be a rematch with Danny Garcia. They had a close fight, even though Danny Garcia pulled away in the second half of the fight in the last 4 rounds. That still was a close enough fight and a competitive enough fight to run it back, because I would love to see that fight, because Matthyssee would love to get, you know, vengeance on Danny Garcia for, you know, beating him for the WBC title. And another fight I would love to see Matthyssee, if he indeed stays at 147, will be him versus Tim Bradley. I know there's a lot of politics with Tim Bradley being a top-ranked fighter and Matthyssee being a golden boy fighter, but I think that they can put the egos to the side to make that fight, and that fight could potentially be a fight of the year type fight, because although Tim Bradley is the better fighter, skill-wise, technically and fundamentally than Lucas Matthyssee, he doesn't always fight like a smart fighter. Go back to his fight against Ruslan Provodnikov, at moments against Kendall Holt, fights with Manny Pacquiao. He just doesn't seem to be able to perform consistently. And then you go back to fights against one man with Marquez, where he was just dominant, outboxed the great Mexican champion for the unanimous decision, or a split decision, I believe. Then the way he beat Brandon Rios, the way he fought Jesse Vargas. I mean, he's a very good fighter, but he's also very inconsistent. But that would be an intriguing matchup and a fight that I would give Lucas Matthyssee the best chance of winning out of the 7 welterweights that I named, because Bradley doesn't have the best chin. He has been in some wars. He may be a little punch drunk, and like I said, he doesn't always fight the smartest fight. And with Matthyssee being a power puncher and having good skills, don't get me wrong, he does have good skills, but he's a smaller guy, and he's been in some wars. He's been in wars with John Molina, Ruslan Provodnikov, He had a tough fight with Victor Postal where he quick got it over the bone, broke. So he's been in a lot of fights, Danny Garcia as well, that has taken a lot out of him. But he's still shown to be a fresh enough fighter to be able to compete with some of these guys. But those would be the two fights, if I was him and his team, that I would target to try to make it 147. All those other guys, Porter, he mauls them, too big, physically strong, too conditioned. He's going to be on Matthyssee from the get-go. Thurman outboxes him, stops him. Manny Pacquiao outboxes him. Kell Brook probably stops him, and I know Spence will stop him. Just too big. Those guys are just too big for Lucas Matthyssee to compete with over 12 rounds. Not saying he couldn't beat him, because he has that equalizer in the right and the left hand because of the power he possessed. Now, going back to 140, where he could be a big player again, because Victor Postal is still there. He can get a rematch with him. Adrian Broner is there. Amir Imam is there. Terrence Crawford is there, even though I would favor Crawford. Felix Diaz is there. There's a lot of talented guys. Adrian Granados is there, a guy who a lot of people thought beat Adrian Broner. Those are a lot of winnable fights aside from Crawford and probably Diaz, because Diaz is a tough fight. He's a tough fighter. He beat Lamont Peterson, even though he didn't get decision. Other than that, those are toss-up fights between him and Broner, him and Granados, or I probably favor him over Granados, him and Imam, and some of the other guys at 140. But I think that Matthyssee has his options, him being with Golden Boy. I'm pretty sure they're going to, gradually increase his competition, because, again, he's been out of the ring 19 months. But I think that it's best for him to go back to 140 if he can't get a fight with Tim Bradley or Danny Garcia to, handle business there and try to become a champion. Because that championship has eluded him so far in his career, whether you want to say he got robbed of decisions or not. The decision is what it is. He's yet to become a champion, and I know that's what's still keeping him, going. So I would like to see some of those fights I just mentioned. But it's good to see Lucas the Machine Matthyssee back. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to Colossal Boxing Talk. Follow us on Twitter at ColossalCBT. Then head over to Facebook and hit that like button on our Facebook page, Colossal Boxing Talk. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.